Everyone, thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to talk about fear. If you're like me, you've experienced fear in some fashion or another, social settings, fear of heights, or even fear of different animals. Fear is a coping mechanism when a threat arises. There's different levels of fears. There's trepidation, nervousness, anxiety, dread, desperation, terror, and horror. I hate horror movies. You're not going to find me watching them because I don't like living in fear. There's different causes of fear. Fear of the dark, fear of heights, social anxiety, like I mentioned, social fear, even fear of rejection, fear of death, and fear of animals. Why does that happen? Really, it's a mechanism where we're trying to protect ourselves and prevent ourselves from injury or harm. There can be some situations where you're in a relationship where you become really scared. And I was in a situation where I saw shattered glass all over at my boyfriend's house, and that was an intimidation factor. That was a factor to scare me, and I had my life threatened too. And so what can we do to get out of those situations? I've read a lot of books and gone to some therapy, and basically you need to confront your fear. I was able to get out of that situation, that scary situation, because I confronted it and I was able to think logically and not from that emotion, not from that fight or flight spot. And so when our brain kicks into fight or flight, then what happens is we just automatically just make decisions out of fear. We make decisions to protect our life, but sometimes what happens is we don't make logical decisions that will really be in our best interest. And so the key is to get out of that fear, do some breathing exercises, or even just get in a safe environment where you can then get relaxed and get in a safe state, in a safe frame of mind to be able to make good decisions. I've learned time and time again that if you confront your fear, they won't be your fear anymore. I know it's hard to say, and it's really hard to do. But if you can get yourself in a safe frame of mind, like let's say you have a fear of heights, and you just breathe through that and say, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, and just repeat over and over, and actually to where your body knows it and you're confident in that you're safe, you can gradually overcome that fear. But you've got to be very careful. You got to make sure that you're basically rewiring in your brain different, what we call a different roadmap where you're telling yourself and reinforcing that with safety, that you are in a safe environment. And you can also do that in other situations where, I've had it in relationships where I have a fear of loss. I've had a lot of loss in my life. I've lost a lot of, my mom and dad have both passed away. I've lost them, and I've had a lot of different situations where I've lost relationships in close relationships and friends. And so I have a fear of loss, where I fear losing my intimate relationships and stuff like that. And so basically it takes a safe person to be able to be vulnerable and share where you're feeling and where you're at and walk through that together. Last week I had a situation where I became very scared, and I knew logically in my mind that there was nothing threatening, but it was just that automatic response because of what has happened in my past, where it just kicked into that fight or flight, and I had to breathe through it and talk through it. And my sweetheart was able to help kind of walk me through that as well. And so again, it takes a lot of vulnerability. And if you're in a situation where you're not in a relationship with somebody that you can completely 100% trust, I do not recommend doing this. You need to make sure that you are in a safe place mentally and physically, and make sure that you can talk through that, and then kind of push those boundaries. And over time, pretty soon, you're going to be able to find that you have been able to conquer those fears and that anxiety. Again, I'm not a licensed therapist. I'm not a psychologist. I'm just sharing things that I've done to help myself. Another teaching Tony Robbins talks about, the antidote to fear is gratitude. I know it sounds cliche. I know it sounds, like too good to be true. But if you start incorporating gratitude and think about things that you're thankful for in those situations, it's automatically going to turn that around. So if you're in a scared environment, just take some deep breaths, get safe, get to your safety, a safe spot mentally, and just start thinking about all the things you're grateful for. Again, I understand it sounds really novice. It sounds like it's too good to be true, but it has helped me a lot with some of the situations that I've been in and worked through myself. So I hope it helps. Sending you lots of love. Thank you.